I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association. That's the special district association responsible for bringing the area free to access TV stations over the air by antenna and this station. This is a community TV station. If there's a news story or event information that you would like to share, you can call us at 970-677-4119. And if you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the Wednesday program for June 10th, 2020, DCTV Daily News. From the Journal, a report on our neighbors to the south and the economic impact on New Mexico. Not too dissimilar to what we will be struggling budget-wise in a deficit and continued turmoil economically for Colorado over the next 18 months at least. This is a photo from Morgan Lee with the AP. Local governments from Roswell to Santa Fe are being swept away in the economic tsunami of the coronavirus pandemic and may fall back on the state for financial aid, a leading state legislator warned on Monday. Senator John Arthur Smith, chairman of the lead state budget writing committee, said gross receipt taxes on sales and services that support municipal and county governments are drying up as cities such as Santa Fe reel from the collapse of the state's tourism sector. At the same time, he says, the U.S. government has limited the options for states to funnel federal recovery dollars towards local governments. Quote, given its own financial crisis, New Mexico state government will be hard-pressed to find the resources to help, Smith wrote in a committee newsletter. But it must. He suggests that the state can address its own likely budget hole by sweeping money from idle accounts, delaying construction projects, suspending pay raises, and shifting the way it pays for some services. The legislature is gathering June 18th for a special session to rewrite the general fund budget and conserve spending during the fiscal year starting July 1st. Smith lost the June 2nd Democratic primary to run for re-election, but still will oversee state Senate budget negotiations during the special session. In other budget matters, financial analysts are warning that the trust fund that underwrites New Mexico unemployment benefits could be depleted by October if spending continues at the current rate. The fund's balance fell from $458 million in mid-March to $322 in mid-May as the state's unemployment rate surged past 11%. That according to staff at the nonpartisan Legislative Finance Committee. The Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund is sustained by contributions from employers. The federal government offers loans to depleted unemployment funds at zero interest to sustain the benefit payments. And that's happening here too in Colorado. And now let's take a look at the local weather forecast. Today, sunny all day with a high near 73 degrees. North-northeast winds continue at just 5 to 10 miles an hour and shift to the west-northwest by the afternoon. Tonight, we're looking for clear skies with a low around 45 degrees, with west-northwest winds, again 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming east after midnight. For a change. Thursday, sunny again, a little warmer with a high near 82 degrees. Light and variable winds shift west-southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour in the morning. And Thursday night, we're looking for mostly clear skies and a low around 52. Into Friday, sunny again and warmer with a high near 85 degrees with east-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour becoming south by the afternoon. And Friday's winds could gust as high as 20 miles an hour. For Friday night, partly cloudy and a low around 58 degrees. Into Saturday is when we have that low chance, just a 20% chance for showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Mostly sunny skies the rest of the day with a high near 83 degrees. For Saturday night, there remains a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms with partly cloudy skies and a low around 52. But then into sunny Sunday, we are going to hit a high near around 80 degrees, so it should be nice with a Sunday night mostly clear and a low of just 50 degrees. And into next week for work week, if you can work on Mondays, sunny with a high near 83 degrees, Monday night mostly clear and a low around 52. We're finally getting back to at least more businesses being able to understand what day it is of the week when we have things open, like the courthouse is now open. You can proceed to go through the doors and follow a set of procedures if you need to go to any of the offices in person, and of course having social distancing. And now let's go back to our local news. The Durango Herald reported an update on the snow that fell over the past 2 days at elevations. Though we cooled off, as the forecast showed, it will be heading back up to summertime heat by the end of the week. A rare June storm blanketed several inches of snow across southwest Colorado, with both Silverton and Telluride reporting about a half foot of snow accumulation. This is a photo Michael Ackerman provided. Mike Charnick, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Grand Junction, said unseasonably cold air entering the region from the north and moisture off the Pacific coast coming from the west set up that storm. As a result, temperatures dropped below freezing on Monday night into Tuesday morning, allowing for snow. Telluride saw the most accumulation with about 6 inches. Placerville reported 3 inches. Ridgeway reported 1 inch. And a location between Rico and Dolores also reported 1 inch. Jeff Derry, director of the Colorado Snow and Avalanche Studies, said that he woke up to about 5 inches of snow on his truck in Silverton. Quote, "It was fluffy snow for June, so it was pretty cool to see," Derry said. Durango didn't see any precipitation with this storm, though temperatures were expected to drop below freezing. A weather station at the Durango-La Plata County Airport reported a low of 33 degrees on Monday night, and that's what we hit here southwest of town as well. Winds were also high throughout the day. At the airport, the weather station recorded a wind gust that reached 55 miles an hour. In Cortez, a wind gust reached 50 miles an hour. Charnick said that the rest of the week should remain dry, with temperatures going back to normal or above normal for this time of year. In Durango, daytime highs are expected to be in the 80s. The chance for precipitation returns this weekend, Charnick said, with scattered showers possible in the high country of the San Juan Mountains. And although we all were brought up being taught that you don't cross Mother Nature and that the weather patterns and seasonal changes are out of one's control, that's actually not quite the case anymore, and hasn't been for a while. I'm not talking about changing climate due to SUV emissions or cow farts. No, there is a much broader set of scientifically based actions taking place by a whole host of countries that shifts and manipulates patterns of flows and seeding clouds with aerosols. There are documents as proof of this dating back to the 1960s and earlier, but an obvious example was the militarization of weather used in Vietnam. Think back to that time. Documents are available to read what the government did there. And then into the 1970s, you can read the treaty that tried to stop the weaponization, military use of weather modifications. Whether that works or not, I'm not speculating. But as the global agenda becomes more acutely revealed from UN documents and conventions like the Event 201 that was held last fall in New York on a theoretical pandemic exercise, all Agenda 21, which is now Agenda 2030, are being rolled out in an accelerated fashion, emboldened by a timeline to accomplish their goals before the population wakes up. What does all this have to do with Southwest Colorado and their weather? Our weather? Apparently everything, as our farmers and ranchers have to struggle with proceeding successfully within the weather that is provided, from the challenges of water wars and access to the infiltration of how weather affects so many aspects of our lives and our businesses. So we shall see what a monsoon season is shaped up to be for 2020. My hope is that we will all support one another in striving towards a community of unity for 2020 and beyond. And a criminal report from the Durango Herald. A federal judge in Durango has sentenced David Sidney Wells, age 44 of Toyac, to 30 years in federal prison for assaulting his wife on the Ute Mountain Ute Reservation. Wells was indicted on April 5, 2019 by a federal grand jury. After a trial in February, he was found guilty of aggravated sexual abuse, assault with the intent to commit aggravated sexual abuse, assault resulting in serious bodily injury, and assault with a dangerous weapon. Wells was sentenced Monday by U.S. District Court Judge Robert E. Blackburn. The sentence is followed by 10 years of supervised release. According to court documents, Wells assaulted his wife at their Toyac residence, repeatedly striking her with a wooden club and kicking her in the stomach. Wells then committed sexual assault before choking her to unconsciousness and fleeing the scene. His wife was medically evacuated by airplane to a hospital in Lakewood. At trial, an expert testified that she could have died because of internal bleeding. The case was investigated by the FBI and Bureau of Indian Affairs. The defendant was prosecuted by Assistant U.S. Attorneys Jeff Graves and R. Josh Player. Quote, "The brutality of Mr. Wells's assault is almost unimaginable," said U.S. Attorney Jason Dunn. But with this sentence, it is all but certain that Mr. Wells's legacy of violent abuse has come to an end. End quote. Wells has more than a dozen prior convictions for assaultive conduct, including assaulting his current wife, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. At the time of the assault, Wells had a Colorado arrest warrant for suspected second-degree assault for allegedly choking his wife in a Cortez Park in August of 2018. Wells will serve the federal sentence consecutively with the 4-year sentence imposed in the earlier case in the 22nd Judicial District Court in Montezuma County. After the jury's verdict, Wells violated a court-imposed no-contact order by writing a 7-page letter to his wife. Wells also had a history of domestic violence convictions in tribal court. According to a 2016 National Institute of Justice study, Native American women suffer violence at a higher rate than non-Native women. Study results study results show that 84.3% of Native American and Alaska Native women have experienced violence, compared with 71% of white women. The study shows that nationwide, Native American women face a murder rate 10 times higher than the national average. In 2018, the Department of Justice awarded $113 million in grants to tribes to improve public safety in Indian country. The Ute Mountain Ute Tribe has been awarded a $1.6 million grant. Of that amount, $898,918 is for public safety and community policing, and $748,013 for justice systems and alcohol and substance abuse. Here are some resources for domestic violence. The Renew Inc. Domestic and Sexual Violence Hotline is locally 970-565-2100. The Strong Hearts Native Helpline is 1-844-762-8483. And the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center online can be found at www.niwrc.org. Vaccines. Again, reporting from Dove Creek, there are reports read directly from their sources, and then there are some that are written locally by me as the producer and host. This one is from the newspaper. Vaccines is one of the ever-increasing hot topic words. People have knee-jerk reactions on both sides of the, quote, debate. And there's more information and studies and personal experience anecdotes available out there than ever before, thanks to the internet, so that you as an individual can make up your own mind for your own self and your family as to how you feel about vaccines. And then when it comes to the forced vaccinations, or you say you can't go to school or can't get a job or other restrictions of movement and income, these are all coming to the forefront of conversations again, and specifically due to the most recent virus, Project COVID-19. I find it the most interesting that the threat of the concern of an individual who chooses not to get vaccinated is that they might spread it to others who are vaccinated. So how is that possible if you say that the vaccination protects you from the disease? Think about it. Does that make sense to you? Again, personal responsibility and freedom of thought is a terrible thing to lose. So here's the story from the Durango Herald. After hours of debate, Colorado's Democrat-led House advanced a bill on Tuesday to raise the state's child immunization rates by adding new requirements for parents who choose to opt out of routine vaccinations on religious or personal grounds. Efforts in past sessions to adopt new opt-out requirements have generated intensely vocal opposition from parents and anti-vaccination advocacy groups, with hundreds of opponents crowding the Capitol to testify against them. A similar protest was held outside the Capitol on Sunday when the Democrat-led Senate passed the current bill. A final House vote would send the legislation, if unchanged, to the governor's desk. Coronavirus-related restrictions prevented similar gatherings inside of the building, and opponents accused Democrats of purposely limiting opportunities to testify to 90 minutes per side to get the proposal to the finish line. Rules adopted after the legislature reconvened after a 10-week hiatus caused by the pandemic have limited in-person testimony on all legislation for health reasons. Current law requires that students' parents simply submit a statement to a school professing religious or personal objections to having their children vaccinated. The new bill would require parents to get a signature from a vaccine provider or watch a state health department video on vaccinations to attain that exemption. Democratic Representative Kyle Mullica, a trauma nurse who co-sponsored the bill, argued the coronavirus pandemic underscored the urgency of addressing Colorado's status as one of the lowest-ranking states for immunizations. The bill aims to increase school vaccine rates to 95%. In 2017, just over 87% of Colorado's kindergarten students had vaccinations for measles, mumps, and rubella, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention National Immunization Survey. The U.S. average was 91.5%, and only Indiana and Missouri had lower vaccination rates than Colorado. Quote, "We've seen our healthcare system come to its knees already with dealing with the COVID pandemic that we're dealing with right now," Mullica said. "There's no way we can deal with anything else." The debate over vaccination exemptions came during a pandemic in which information from health officials has been interpreted in an increasingly partisan fashion. Colorado Republicans generally opposed the stay-at-home orders and business closures adopted by Democratic Representative Jared Polis to combat the coronavirus. He's the governor, not a representative. Republicans complained Tuesday that neither their party nor its constituents were given a chance to either help craft or testify the bill. They also argued that the bill was a tool to slowly chip away at non-medical vaccine exemptions. Mullica said that the bill's sponsors comprised an order to keep the exemptions. compromised in order to keep the exemptions. GOP lawmakers also objected to the state having access to data about individuals' objections to having their children vaccinated. The bill would require medical professionals to submit immunization or medical or non-medical exemption data to a state immunization tracking system. And we'll have more on all that sort of tracking topics as we progress through this post-coronavirus period of June, post the crisis. And I post up these stories and links on our Facebook page, which you can visit online at DCTV Daily News. You can also watch the program replay there, along with news links and stories of local interests and events. And you too can share other events or news there and join in on the conversation. This is your local community TV station, so if you have something to share, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119. Thanks for tuning in to DCTV Daily News. Programs are broadcast Monday through Friday with replays online on our YouTube channel and on our DCTV Daily News page, which is on Facebook. And if you like the program, please do like and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Again, thank you for watching.